President Trump continues to push the SAVE Act, which would require tougher proof of citizenship to register to vote and an ID to cast a ballot. It passed the House and is now awaiting action in the Senate. But how is that impacting state Republicans who have pushed voter ID laws for years? Dennis Owens joins us live now at the state capitol in Harrisburg with the details. Good afternoon to you, Dennis.
Good afternoon to you, James. Republicans, as you know, in Pennsylvania have complained about PA's voter laws ever since Act 77 reforms were signed into law. That was Halloween of 2019. Many want an overhaul to the process, and they want to require voters to present a photo ID before casting a ballot. Voter ID, you've heard a lot about that. But the SAVE Act, federally, what President Trump wants, is actually a bit more stringent than what state lawmakers have thus far pushed. The requiring proof of citizenship can be a high bar for many who don't have easy access to the needed documents. One study from the University of Maryland says that could be as many as 20 million Americans. Democrats say there is no widespread election-altering fraud, and it's just a GOP ploy to discourage folks from voting. But Republicans like Senator Chris Gebhardt say mistrust in elections is a top issue in his Lebanon County district, and a fix is needed. He concedes, though, that the specifics still need to be hammered out.
Showing someone that I have a Med-Ed electric bill is not really a qualifying factor to me. To be like, oh, you should be able to qualify to vote for that. That doesn't work. I think the bar should be higher than that. I think if we have people in this Commonwealth that don't have a government-issued ID, the government should pay for them to have a government-issued ID. We should make sure they have a government-issued ID. If we're going to require them that they need to have a government-issued ID to vote, which I agree with.
President Trump also wants to eliminate widespread mail-in ballots, and Chris Gebhardt, the senator you just heard from, he agrees. He wants to go back to the old system where you had to have an excuse, a reason that you wanted a mail-in ballot, but not to have widespread mail-in ballots, which are currently the situation. He complains about everything from ballot harvesting. It's illegal to put more than your own ballot in a mailbox. He says he's seen videos of people dumping a lot of them, to the battle in the courts that we've told you about whether the partially dated or wrong, if you have the wrong date on the mail-in ballot, should it count, shouldn't it count? Counties have gone back and forth on that. The courts have gone back and forth on that. But James, there's also a chicken and egg component to all this. You know, Republican lawmakers like to say, hey, a lot of people in my district are complaining they don't trust the system. Well, part of the reason they don't trust the system is because in 2020, President Trump and a lot of Republicans on down said that it was rigged and it was stolen, and that created the mistrust. So basically, that's where we are, James. There are, again, Republicans in the building that want to have voter ID, but the devil is always in the details. What exactly is voter ID? Is it the tougher requirement and tougher documents? You remember when we did real ID, and a lot of women that were married or divorced had a lot of trouble getting the documents they needed to get their real IDs. They had to jump through a lot of hoops, and the fear among some is if you do that, a lot of people are just going to say, the heck with it, I'm just not going to vote. That's the story from the state capitol. Let's send it back to you.
Absolutely. There's, like you said, those details. Another detail that's been coming to light are some of the requirements that really want you to use a passport to prove your citizenship. And a lot of people who don't have passports, and that's another issue.
And there's other issues, too, as far as a birth certificate. You have your birth certificate? Because you know what? I don't have mine. Now, I do have a real ID. I do have a passport. But there's lots, as I said, the University of Maryland did a study. As many as 20 million Americans don't have those required documents. And then, you know, there's one other thing on all this. States are supposed to determine the time, manner, and place of elections, not the federal government. And some people say that the feds are pushing that's unconstitutional right from Jump Street.
And you have people who are watching all of this play out and just think the entire thing is one big mess. And we'll see how it all plays out. All right, Dennis Owens, live for us there at the state capitol. As always, we really appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Eric Finkenbinder from ABC 27. We're excited to announce the new ABC 27 News Plus app. Live stream newscasts or watch content on demand. This is different than the ABC 27 app on your smartphone. You can check this out at home, and it's very easy to use. With a Fire Stick, go to the homepage, scroll down to search. From there, enter ABC 27. Move over to the apps, and there we are. Click the icon and install. It's just that easy.